Imagine a day when the world is turned upside down. Meteorites from outer space start falling all over the globe, and out of them emerge aliens who are determined to destroy the Earth in a matter of hours. It's a catastrophic scenario that no one could have predicted. The story begins on a normal day in New York City, where a young girl named Sam is living in a nursing home. Sam has been diagnosed with terminal cancer and doesn't have much time left. She spends her days with her loyal pet cat, Frodo, trying to make the most of the time she has. One day, the nursing home's kind-hearted nurse, Robin, decides to take all the patients on a fun outing to a theater show in Manhattan. Sam is excited to go, especially since Robin has promised her a special treat afterwards, a visit to her favorite pizza restaurant. As they travel to the theater on a bus, everyone notices an unusual number of fighter jets flying overhead, but no one thinks much of it, assuming it's just a routine exercise. At the theater, Sam meets a friendly family, including Henry, his wife, and their daughter. As the show begins, Sam gets a bit bored and decides to explore the theater with Frodo. She buys some chocolates and enjoys the snack while taking in the sights and sounds. Just as the show is ending, Robin receives a mysterious message warning everyone to leave the city immediately. He's not sure what's going on, but he knows they need to get out of there fast. Sam is disappointed. She was really looking forward to that pizza. She reluctantly boards the bus with the other patients, but as they start to leave the city, something strange catches her attention. Everyone on the bus is staring out the window in shock and horror. Sam looks out to see what's happening, and that's when the chaos begins. As the day takes a turn for the worse, thousands of meteorites suddenly appear in the sky above the city, descending upon the unsuspecting population. One of the meteorites crashes near Sam's bus, sending a massive shockwave that releases a thick green dust into the air. The dust reduces visibility to almost zero, and Sam, fearing for her life, starts to move forward in a desperate bid to escape. They seem to be some kind of alien, and they're attacking anyone who makes a sound. Sam watches in horror as people around her are dragged away by the aliens. She knows she has to get out of there, and fast. She starts to run, but her escape is short-lived. A car explosion rocks the ground beneath her feet, and she falls unconscious. When Sam comes to, she finds herself back at the theater, surrounded by hundreds of survivors who are all hiding from the aliens. Henry, the man she met earlier, is by her side, his hand clamped over her mouth to prevent her from making a sound. Sam realizes that Henry must have carried her back to the theater while she was unconscious. As she looks around, she sees Robin, the nurse, who hugs her tightly and returns her pet cat, Frodo. Robin had found Frodo on the road while fleeing from the aliens. The survivors are all frozen in silence, knowing that even the slightest sound could attract the aliens and seal their fate. Just then, a helicopter flies overhead, broadcasting an announcement to the survivors. The aliens, it seems, are only attacking people who make noise. The government is planning a rescue mission to evacuate the survivors, but until then, they must remain silent and hidden. As the announcement from the helicopter continues, the survivors inside the theater are frozen in silence, listening intently, but their attention is suddenly diverted when Frodo, Sam's pet cat, slips out of her hands and runs toward the main gate. Sam and Robin quickly follow, trying to catch up to Frodo before he makes any noise. As they approach the gate, they can hear the aliens gathering outside, their eerie voices growing louder. Sam tries to sneak up to Frodo, but before she can reach him, the cat lets out a faint meow. The sound is like a trigger, and an alien bursts into action, charging towards the gate. Sam sees the alien up close, and she's shocked to realize that it doesn't have eyes. But before it can attack, the sound of the helicopter returns, and the alien is distracted, retreating back into the crowd of its fellow creatures. There are hundreds of them, all swarming towards the sound of the helicopter. As the chaos dies down, Sam takes a moment to collect herself. She looks around and sees that many people are huddled around a radio, listening to instructions from the government. The message is clear: stay away from the bridges tonight, as they will be blown up to prevent the aliens from escaping the city. The survivors are told to hide and remain silent until further notice. As the night wears on, the bombing begins. Sam and the other survivors watch in horror as their city is destroyed, building by building. The military is using helicopters to blow up all the bridges connected to the city, trapping the aliens inside. One of the survivors, overcome with fear, starts to scream. Henry tries to silence him, but in the struggle, the man accidentally dies in Henry's arms. Sam and her friends were waiting for help to arrive at the theater, but then the emergency generator started making a loud noise. Robin, one of Sam's friends, ran to turn it off so that the aliens wouldn't hear them, but it was too late. An alien had already heard the noise and came to the theater. It killed Robin in front of everyone. Sam was very sad and scared. She realized that if she stayed at the theater, she would be next. So she decided to leave the theater alone in the morning. When she went outside, she saw that everything was destroyed. Buildings were broken, and there was debris everywhere. Sam found a broken store and took some food, supplies, and flashlights. She started walking on the ruined roads, looking for a safe place to hide. After a while, she came to a park and sat near a waterfall. The sound of the water was loud, and she thought it would be a good place to hide because the aliens wouldn't be able to hear her. While she was sitting there, she saw two children hiding behind the fountain. They were hungry and thirsty, so Sam gave them some food. The children had probably been hiding there since the day before, trying to escape from the aliens. Just then, a helicopter flew overhead and made an announcement. The scientists had discovered some weaknesses of the aliens. They couldn't see, which meant they couldn't find people just by looking. They also didn't know how to swim, which meant they were scared of water. The army was going to take advantage of this weakness by putting boats near the river outside the city. The people who were still alive could escape in these boats because the aliens wouldn't be able to follow them. The army had already blown up the bridges, so the aliens were trapped in the city. As the army's plan to distract the aliens was working, Sam saw her chance to move towards the river. She quickly gathered the two children and started moving forward, trying to be as quiet as possible. As they approached the river, Sam saw that thousands of other survivors were also making their way towards the water's edge, all of them trying to escape the city without making a sound. But Sam had other plans. Despite knowing that she was dying from terminal cancer, she wanted to stay in the city and fulfill one last wish, to eat pizza one last time in memory of her father. So she sent the two children off with the crowd, telling them to go towards the river and escape, while she herself went in the opposite direction, back into the city. However, as the crowd of survivors continued to move towards the river, the sound of their footsteps and the noise of their belongings started to attract the attention of the aliens. Despite trying to be quiet, the crowd's noise was too much, and the aliens suddenly attacked, causing chaos and panic. People were running everywhere, trying to save themselves, and in the midst of the chaos, Frodo, Sam's cat, escaped from her hands. As the aliens started killing the people around her, the crowd's fear turned to panic, and they started shouting and screaming. The aliens, attracted by the noise, started killing them one by one. Sam managed to separate herself from the crowd and hid under a car, waiting for an opportunity to escape. When the coast was clear, she quietly got out from under the car and started running, trying to put as much distance between herself and the chaos as possible. Her cat, Frodo, had run away in the stampede, and Sam was now alone. As she was running, she was spotted by another survivor, Eric. He followed her and eventually caught up to her, and they both started moving quietly, taking advantage of the rain to cover their tracks. Sam told Eric that she didn't want to leave the city and that he should go to the riverbank where the government was rescuing people. But Eric was scared and didn't want to go back, so he decided to follow Sam instead. Sam's painkillers were at her house, but she realized that she had dropped the house keys somewhere while running away the day before. So they both decided to wait for a while and then try to find a way to get into her house. They went to a nearby hotel, and during a thunderstorm, Eric broke down the door to get in, trying not to make too much noise. Once they were inside, they finally had a chance to talk quietly. Eric told Sam that he was a law student who had been separated from his family and had come to the city alone from a far distance. He was desperate to reach his family safely. Sam shared her own story, telling Eric that she used to be a poet and writer, but had stopped writing after being diagnosed with cancer. She had one last wish before she died, to go to the same restaurant where her father used to take her and eat pizza one last time. That's why she didn't want to leave the city, even though she knew she was going to die anyway. She wanted to give up her life by eating pizza for the last time, and she was determined to make that happen. Sam knew that Eric wouldn't be able to make it on his own, so she decided to leave him sleeping and venture out with Frodo. The city was eerily deserted, with no sound anywhere. Sam quietly started browsing through the books in a ruined library, while Frodo kept a watchful eye out for any potential dangers. Suddenly, Frodo let out a warning meow, and Sam turned around to see Eric standing behind her. She was furious that he had followed her again and told him to leave her alone. In her anger, she accidentally dropped the books, which made a loud clattering sound. Sam knew that this would attract the aliens, and she quickly grabbed Eric's arm and started running. As they ran, they could hear the sounds of the aliens closing in on them. They tried to enter a nearby building, but the door was blocked by a briefcase. Eric managed to push the door open, but the briefcase fell to the ground, making another loud noise. This attracted even more aliens, and Sam and Eric knew they had to think fast. They quickly came up with a plan to distract the aliens. Eric would create a diversion by breaking the windows of nearby cars and setting off their alarms, while Sam would sneak away to safety. The plan worked, and the aliens were drawn to the noise of the cars. Sam and Eric took advantage of the distraction to slip away and enter a subway station. As they entered the subway station, they thought they had finally found a safe haven, but to their horror, they saw an alien waiting for them in the shadows. The train tracks behind them were flooded with water, and they knew they had to move forward to escape. The alien was still following them, and as they waded through the water, they realized that the level was rising rapidly. Eric and Sam started to discuss whether they should keep moving forward, but Sam was adamant that they couldn't go back. They had to keep moving forward, no matter what. Just as they were making their way through the water, the alien heard their voices and started attacking them. To save themselves, Eric and Sam jumped into the water, and as they had hoped, the alien was unable to swim. It drowned in the water, while Eric and Sam managed to swim to the other side, but the ordeal had taken a toll on Sam's health. She was already suffering from cancer, and the exertion of swimming had worsened her condition. Eric quickly found a nearby broken church and laid Sam down, trying to comfort her. As Sam lay there, Eric realized that she didn't have any medicine left with her. He asked her where he could find some, and she told him about a nearby medical store. Eric decided to go alone to get the medicine, leaving Sam behind. As Eric entered the broken pharmacy, he was determined to find the medicines prescribed by Sam, but just as he was about to grab the medicines, he heard a faint meowing sound coming from behind him. He turned around to see Frodo, Sam's cat, standing there, probably having followed him to the pharmacy. Eric quickly grabbed the medicines and started to leave with Frodo, but as they were walking back to the church, they heard a strange sound coming from behind them. Despite Eric's attempts to catch her, Frodo ran toward the sound, leading Eric to a construction site. It was there that Eric realized that an alien meteorite had fallen, and there were more alien eggs lying around. Eric carefully picked up Frodo and made his way back to the church, trying not to make any noise. Once they arrived, Eric quickly gave Sam the medicines, and after some time, her condition improved. As Sam's pain subsided, she began to open up to Eric about her past. She told him that ever since she was diagnosed with cancer, she had lost all sense of purpose in her life. She had even stopped writing books, something she loved dearly. She was just waiting to die, and her last wish was to go to her childhood restaurant where her father used to take her and eat pizza one last time. The next morning, Eric, Sam, and Frodo set out towards the restaurant, but to their dismay, they found that it had been burnt down. It must have been destroyed on the same day as the alien attack. Sam was devastated, feeling that even her last wish had been taken away from her. Despite the restaurant being burnt down, Eric refused to give up. He asked Sam to wait in a nearby building while he went inside to look for pizza, and to their surprise, he managed to find a pizza that had been left behind. The three of them, Eric, Sam, and Frodo, sat down to eat the pizza together. As they ate, Sam had a realization. She couldn't allow Eric and Frodo to die with her. She knew she was going to die soon, but she wanted to make sure they were safe, so she suggested they go to the roof of the building to get a better view of their surroundings. From the roof, they saw a last boat leaving from the nearby riverbank, carrying the remaining survivors. The army was following behind, ready to drop a bomb on the city to destroy the aliens. But many aliens were still standing on the bank of the river, unable to move forward due to their fear of water. Sam knew they had to leave, and fast. She told Eric that they should make a run for it and try to make it to the boat, but they knew it wouldn't be easy. There were hundreds of aliens standing on the bank, and they would have to find a way to get past them. Sam came up with a plan. She would create a diversion by making noise in the vehicles, drawing the aliens away from Eric and Frodo. This would give them a chance to escape, and even though she was dying anyway, she was willing to sacrifice herself to save them. So Sam started making as much noise as she could, drawing the aliens towards her. The shore was clearing, and the last rescue boat noticed that some survivors were still on the shore. They stopped the boat and waited. Eric, meanwhile, was running toward the river with Frodo, trying to reach the boat, but some aliens had noticed him and were chasing him. Eric jumps into the water just in time, escaping the aliens. Sam watches from a distance as Eric swims to safety with Frodo and reaches the survivor boat, where Henry and his family are waiting. Eric finds a letter in his jacket that Sam wrote before she died. In the letter, Sam says that she was already dying and had lost all hope. But when she met Eric, he gave her a new reason to live, to save his life and Frodo's life. Sam says that she found a new purpose in life, and that was to save Eric and Frodo. She feels happy and at peace, knowing that she was able to do something good before she died. The story then shows Sam walking down a deserted road, looking at old family photos and listening to music. She takes out her headphones and listens to the music, feeling happy and at peace. As the aliens arrive, Sam closes her eyes and dies, surrounded by happy memories and music. The story ends with a message, thanking the viewers for watching.